Robert Rowe has spent years investigating fires, having worked with fire officials, insurers, and attorneys across the country, and he joins me now. Mr. Rowe, we appreciate your time. Your job is to establish the origin of a fire. Investigators seem right now to be really focused on the specific Twitter video of this shed or small barn that is going up in flames. So I want to play a piece of this video for people at home, and then if you would, kind of watch the video of this structure going up in flames, the winds involved, and what stands out to you. There you can see them zooming in. As an investigator, what do you see?
Well, the first thing I see, obviously, is the high winds. High winds are really problematic in a type of fire like this. The fire spreads quickly. As in the previous videos, you saw people scrambling to get out of a store. And when you went outside, you could see the wind. So the velocity of the wind plays a huge role in fire spread.
Walk us through where you start to look for answers. Who would you be talking to right now?
Well, the first thing you have to do is kind of get a rough idea of where this fire starts. And that can be done through looking at aerial, we have aerial operations up in the sky looking down on the fire. You can kind of get an idea and fly over the area where the area of origin is presumed to be located. At that point, then you just start talking to people in the area. You start talking to first responders, what they're seeing at the early stages of the fire. Then you basically kind of develop an area of origin. And once you get the area of origin established, then you have to process the fire scene.
In terms of the size of the fire, clearly the winds were a major impact on this particular blaze, the terrain. What are some of the things that you run into that complicate an investigation or at least lend it to last longer?
Well, again, the wind is a huge issue because the wind is unpredictable. I mean, you could be processing a fire scene, or you can be working in an area where the fire still may be moving. And when the wind changes, obviously that changes the dynamic of the fire itself as well as the fire investigation. So, the wind direction is huge. And then you start talking about the types of fuels that are in the area that have not yet burned, the humidity levels that contribute to fire spread, as well as the terrain. The terrain is another huge factor in determining fires or even dealing with fires, because in terrain, it's difficult to get in some of the areas of the mountainous areas or the hilly areas without getting injured or just not being able to make access at all.
And in a situation like this, you heard that family looking for that woman who's still missing. These massive, devastating fires where lives are lost, thousands of buildings are lost. Many people want accountability. They want answers. We heard the governor say those responsible will be held accountable. In terms of investigating, how often are you able to determine a cause and an origin definitively?
Well, fire investigation is just like any other type of criminal investigation. It's extremely difficult because now you have the fire debris that you have to sift through to try to locate your evidence. The evidence is there. It's just that it's not in a state that you want it to be when you're conducting an investigation like any other type of investigation. So collecting evidence is sometimes difficult. That's a hindrance to the investigation. But I think the most important thing, there are people that know things, that have talked to people, or maybe whoever was involved, if in fact there was someone involved, sometimes what will happen is they'll start talking about it. And then that's when we start getting leads. People see things. And in all cases, I always reach out to the public. Public is number one assistance to a fire investigator on these types of fires, because they see things that a lot of people don't really see, and they report that. And that's really a good thing when they do.
Yep, somebody knows something. It's complicated, relentless work, but it's important what you're doing and what those folks in Colorado are doing right now. Robert Rowe, we appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.